Hi artists, welcome back to Art. So this week we are going to take a deep dive inside ourselves and we're going to talk about the world of imaginary friends. Did you know that nearly 46% of elementary school age children have an imaginary friend at one point in their lives? And before you start giggling and saying, oh no, I'm way too cool to have an imaginary friend, did you know that having an imaginary friend is actually a really great thing? It's a sign of having a very healthy and creative mind. So if you already have an imaginary friend, awesome, we're going to celebrate them in this project. And if you don't, guess what? I believe, much like the authors of these two books I'm going to share with you, I believe that there's a world of imaginary friends out there just waiting to be imagined by one of us. And that's what we're going to do in this project today. So let me share the books with you that inspired this whole idea. The two most amazing teachers and my friends, Mrs. Armstrong at Mary Silvera, she's the librarian, and Mrs. Madden, who's a fourth grade teacher. They have the best taste in books, you guys. So they have presented these two books to us. And I am so happy to say they very, very kindly have shared a reading of this book. Mrs. Armstrong reads it. She's got the most beautiful reading voice, so please check it out. And who was it? Oh, Miss Boyer read it in Spanish too. So we have recordings of this book by our librarian in English and by Miss Boyer in Spanish. And then we also have, for 3rd through 5th graders, the book Crenshaw. Crenshaw is a wonderful, wonderful story. It's about Jackson, who's a young boy, and he's his imaginary friend who sort of helps him through some things in life that his family are going through. They've fallen on hard times and they find themselves homeless for a little bit. So it's a really, really wonderful story. And we have a read aloud of this story that has been created for all of our community. And Mrs. Madden and Miss Armstrong are calling it 2 books, 1 community. And I just love that so much. It's bringing us all together reading the same books. So 3rd grade through 5th grade, the recording is in the document below of this book Crenshaw, and I hope you enjoy it. I have thoroughly enjoyed this book. I read it last week. And then we have for kindergarten through 2nd grade, the story of Beekle. And I'm actually going to read this to you because I want us to look at the pictures and talk about imaginary friends a little bit. So for this project, what we're going to do is, as I said, dive deep within yourself. And I want you to imagine the perfect imaginary friend for you, because they come from us, right? So they should be something that would complement us. Let's say, for example, when I was a child, I was really, really shy to the point I really didn't even want to talk to anybody. So if I was to imagine an imaginary friend that I would have needed back then, probably someone with a giant mouth who could have done the talking for me, or maybe someone with a gentle hand who could have given me a gentle shove from behind, telling me it's okay to speak. That's what I would have needed when I was little. Maybe you are, I know, maybe mom or dad hides the cookies in a top cabinet somewhere and you can't quite reach them. Maybe your imaginary friend could have giant spaghetti arms to reach up to the top cabinet to get the cookies. So you see what I mean. Imaginary friends can be anything that help us through hard times in life. So that's what our project is going to be. So let's take a look at the first. I just want to show you the inside cover of this book. It just sort of highlights what I was just saying about how our imaginary friends complement us. So let's take a look at these pictures here. Now let me see if I can get this close. So this person loves to fly kites. So incorporated wind or the sky into her imaginary friend. Is it a boy or a girl? I can't tell. Into their imaginary friend. Oh, it's a boy. This person loves to knit, right? Cats love to play with yarn, right? Like a ball of yarn. So her imaginary friend is a cat. See what I mean? Loves to make sand castles at the beach, would love to have more arms, so has an octopus friend to help him. And look at all of these great imaginary friends. And I'll put up some more photos for inspiration too. So let's take a read of the book. As I'm reading the book, I want you to be thinking about your imaginary friend. Think about the personality traits that he or she should have. Maybe it's not even a person, maybe it's an animal. This comes from your imagination. You are the creators. And enjoy. So let's read the book and then we can start creating. So artists, as I read the story, please do be looking at the background images of each page. There are some beautiful illustrations in this book, and you might get some inspiration for the background setting for your picture of your imaginary friend. Because remember, with art, we always want to cover our entire page with colors. We are going to be creating backgrounds for our imaginary friends too. All right, let's read the story. He was born on an island far away where imaginary friends were created. Here they lived and played, each eagerly waiting to be imagined by a real child. Just like we're doing right now with ours. They're out there waiting to be imagined by us. Every night he stood under the stars, hoping for his turn to be picked by a child and given a special name. He waited for many nights. But his turn never came. His mind filled with thoughts of all the amazing things that were keeping his friend from imagining him. So rather than waiting, he did the unimaginable. He sailed through unknown waters and faced many scary things, but thinking about his friend gave him the courage to journey on until he reached the real world. The real world was a strange place. No kids were eating cake, no one stopped to hear the music, and everyone needed nap time. Then finally he saw something familiar, so he followed. Ooh, he had a good feeling about this place, but he looked everywhere, and he couldn't find his friend. It does look like the perfect world of imaginary friends with all their friends playing, and he's still looking for his friend. He climbed to the top of a tree and looked out, wishing and hoping his friend would come. I love this scene, beautiful tree. But no one came, just a note blowing in the breeze. He thought about how far he'd come and how long he'd waited, and felt very sad. Then he heard a noise below. Hello? Hello? He climbs down the tree, hands the note to her. Her face was friendly and familiar, and there was something about her that felt just right. Look, do you think she had imagined him and already drawn her picture of her imaginary friend? You think Beekle's found his person? At first, they weren't sure what to do. Neither of them had made a friend before. But after a little while, they realized they were perfect together. I'm Beekle. Hi, Beekle. Beekle and Alice had many new adventures. They shared their snacks. They told funny jokes. The world began to feel a little less strange. And together they did the unimaginable. I'm so happy that Beekle found his friend. So now it's our turn. Do you think that our imaginary friends can find us? So it's time to imagine what your imaginary friend is going to look like. Is it an animal? Is it a person? What sort of features does it have? What sort of personality does it have? Where does it live when it's not with you? Does it wear clothing? Does it have fur? You are the artists, you are the creators, and this is a really deep internal imagination game. So I want you to take some time to really think about it and then create your picture any way you wish. You are the artists. I'm giving you complete free range on this one. You can use your oil pastels, you can use your watercolors, you can use markers, crayons, whatever you wish. You could even sculpt your imaginary friend using the homemade clay recipe that's on the Google Classroom too. That would be a cool challenge maybe for older grades. So that's it. I cannot wait to see them. And if you'd like to also draw yourself with your imaginary friend, you can do that too. But let's just celebrate the world of our imagination and create the perfect friend for each of us. All right, enjoy, and then don't forget to email me pictures. All right, I'll talk to you next week.